Hey, everybody.
Well, it's time for another steamy session for Persona 4 playthrough here on Open
Woo.
Couch Gaming. Ugh. I don't know how good that impersonation was, but
It was bad, but I love it, and I want to be in my most like flamboyant nature right now. Wow. Pride Month may have ended, so we're gonna end this gay nightmare for Kanji.
yeah,
We meant to
yeah,
get here
the, the
earlier.
the gay panic that he constantly experiences with Naoto.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, but welcome
or would it
back,
be more,
everybody.
or would it be more bi panic?
I don't know. I feel like he's pretty well written to be gay. Like
Yeah,
he
I mean
is not
once you see
really.
that once you see that boss fight, it is pretty much like,
Yeah,
yeah.
y'all are about to see. He's pretty much confirmed homo.
Yeah, obviously still figuring things out, as you do
Oh,
when you're young,
yeah,
but
yeah, but yeah, no, he's pretty clearly written as a gay character, I believe.
yeah. Uh, but speaking of Persona stuff, so Personas 3 through 5 confirmed for Switch, PC, and Xbox.
Yeah,
That's such a like okay, so it was weird enough that that Persona 4 was confirmed for PC, that it was confirmed for Steam. That
yeah,
felt completely out of nowhere. But I guess this was a proving grounds to be like, okay, Atlas, clearly people want these games on other platforms. Release them on other fucking platforms. So I guess they are.
yeah, yeah.
So I like didn't didn't Persona 4 Golden become like one of the top selling games on Steam for a while?
If it didn't, I'm surprised. Like, I think it was a really big seller.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously, a lot of people talk this game up, and this version, the golden version specifically, was trapped on the PSP for like what? Let's see, it was 2012, I think, was the golden version coming out. So, and it came to PC in 2021, right? Came out last year on
Yeah.
in PC. I think. When did it? I have to look this up. I have to look it up. I don't remember entirely. No, it came out in June 13th, 2020 on Steam. So, yeah, that
Yeah.
I guess this was the proving grounds to be like, okay, uh we'll see what people think about these re-releases of the Persona series on other platforms, and then they see the explosion and they go,
Oh, yeah, yeah. We
okay,
might have a bigger fan base than we realized.
it's like the ending of Yakuza 1. It's just like, oh, okay, it's literally raining money on us. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll work with this.
So it is kind of sad that Personas 1 and 2 didn't get that same acknowledgement, but
But also, they are more traditional dungeon crawlers,
they're more
in a sense.
SMT-ish
Yeah, like,
and
they are
and
definitely more for hardcore fans than
yeah,
people.
and Grant,
Like, here's the thing: if you like Persona 5 and that makes you want to get into the series, you might not like Persona 1 and 2.
they're very different in terms of gameplay.
And
I mean,
even theming.
yeah. Well, I
Like,
mean, the theming and everything you might like because it's classic Atlas SMT, you know, odd, dreary tone with
yeah.
Persona's zaniness and anime-esque uh
It's an
tones.
interesting balancing act you don't get in the new Persona games comparatively.
Yes.
Like,
And some probably would want those balancing acts back because I remember hearing about so fun little story for everybody listening.
all right.
There's this streamer by the name of Shenpai, and she teamed up with another streamer by the name of Crystal. Two of them are are pretty big fans of Persona. Not as much as they did when they got highly well known, but they are well known for liking Persona a lot. And when Royal came out, they were like, we're gonna do a race against each other to see how far we can, like, how far along we can get in Persona 5 Royal, see who can beat it fastest, you know?
Yeah.
Problem was that once that race happened, people in Shenpai's Discord, or at the very least trolls or douche canoes in Shenpai's Discord, proceeded to lambaste her and her fans for being exclusionary, saying like, you're only caring about 5. What about 2 and 1? And it's like, fuck off. People enjoy things.
Because this is the game we're playing right now, and we can play those later.
Yes. Granted, you know, it's tougher to play those older games.
It is.
Don't blame us for that. Blame Atlas. They haven't re-released those.
Exactly. Unless you got a Vita right now, like
a Vita or a PSP.
Yeah. But here we go. Let's do it. I just love that.
Yeah.
Oh, come now. Enough with the charade. Isn't it awful to deceive people? To deceive yourself? What's so bad about doing what I want?
Some would probably... Not to mention the fact that even fans of 3 through 5 have their own discourse, which is also disgusting to hear, because it's like, oh, people that only play 5 say it's the greatest thing to grace RPGs since Chrono Trigger or some shit like that. Like, I don't know. This discourse in fandoms is so dumb to me.
Some disgusting thing and say that I'm a weirdo, laughing at me all the while. You like to sew? What a queer. Painting is so not you. But you're a guy. You don't act like a guy. Why aren't you manly? What does it mean to be a guy? What does it mean to be manly? Those are so scary. I ain't scared of them. Much better. They never say those awful, degrading things. Yes, I vastly prefer men. Hell with that. What makes you think you can say that shit with my face? Why, you're me. And I'm you.
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I mean,
No way! There's no way in hell that you're me!
And you just
I mean,
screwed up.
yeah, it's a good bit of character for him, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, it's pretty explicit, too. Like, even if you go beyond just the societal edge of that, it's a
reminds
pretty
me...
personal thing where he's like, no, I simply prefer the company of men.
Yeah, because, you know, sometimes I'm not gonna, you know what, I'm not gonna put my foot in my mouth on this because I'm hetero, so I'm not gonna try and put my foot in my mouth in regards to stating anything about things. I don't know. I want to make an ass of myself. But I do remember, and this is like more of a cis male issue, not just an issue of it's more of like a male issue, or a masculinity issue, large.
Yeah.
That I read about on a post. This person who I mean I don't know who they are, but they posted on Tumblr about their experiences of you know, transitioning into being a male because they are trans men, and this person talked about their experience of how different the US culture is treating them now that they have transitioned into being perceived as masculine.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to read the whole post, but it's essentially them talking about how much of a culture shock it really is, and how essentially a lot of men in the US and probably other countries as well, I shouldn't say probably, most likely in other countries as well, being given a sense of social isolation because a lot of times they are perceived as a threat by others, both by men and by women. Which is understandable, it's not a personal guard that a lot of them have against the individuals in question. It's it's just a defense mechanism because, let's face it, bad shit happens sometimes when men or people perceived as masculine are involved. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I mean, that is an issue in our culture specifically.
Like, this person essentially talks about how they when they were before they transitioned, they would talk about like how they understood that guard that females and women have against people being perceived as masculine. It's not personal or any capacity. It's just them trying to defend themselves so that they don't get assaulted in any kind of regard. But it's yeah, it's just interesting to see how some can see the societal things that changes when you can see through a cis man's eyes. And I'm saying cis man cis man as like including men that are gay, men that are pan,
Yeah.
man
People whose
trans,
gender matches their sex.
yeah,
Gotcha.
people who are perceived as masculine.
Yes.
um and seeing that reaction and just seeing this post felt, how do I put this, it feels weird, but it feels like I've been seen. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
when,
that
when
makes sense.
like I understand that's probably not a good, I can get that that's not a very good way to put it, but this is a thing that goes on. You know, a lot of times when a cis man or someone who's perceived as masculine is just doing their average day, they can go days, sometimes weeks, without speaking to another person because nobody comes up to them, nobody talks to them, nobody really gives any kind of casual compliments or anything. Not much acknowledgment's given. So, reading a post like that, reading about how starved uh, people of a masculine nature are in a social sense, I don't know.
Damn it.
Does it is it weird to say that it feels a little reassuring?
No, it's not weird to say it feels a little reassuring. I mean,
Or it just feels
it's
like
great to have
I
not an echo chamber, but a place where concerns you may have that are not spoken of in, let's say, the vast, not debate, but like forum of public opinion. You don't hear necessarily, in many ways, the man's view on it.
Yeah, and Kanji likely has gone through similar things of that nature because not only is he very much masculine, very much
Yeah.
cis man, but he's also got a short temper. He punch first, ask questions later kind of delinquent. So,
This is very much the case, yes.
yeah, so for him to be seen this way probably is very exposing for him, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, that's why he doesn't want to admit it. That's kind of the whole point of the shadows. It's your most exposed self, it's the shadow you keep hidden within yourself. Like, him admitting, like, yeah, no, I'm into all these effeminate things that people, chastise me for, make fun of me for, that I cannot be honest to other people about. Like, that's hard.
Yeah. Also reminds me of an anime I saw or heard about. Well, saw the first 3 episodes and then got bored of. Do you know the anime My Love Story?
I think I've heard of it.
It's the one where the main character is like a brick shithouse of a high school student. He's got like short black hair, really huge, very broad, and he's got like this pretty boy best friend.
Think I've heard of it. Don't
if I
get me
send
lying to you, but yeah, if you send me a picture, I could at least try to
yeah,
confirm.
let me find a picture of the main character, and hopefully that'll clarify it to some extent. Um, I bring him up. I bring him up because he is the example I think of when it comes to a character who is like a generally really well liked and nice guy, but you know, people talk about him badly behind his back he's just because he's a very large figure, I guess. He's just it's a similar case with Kanji where Kanji's not that bad of a guy, but just due to the perception around him, he's treated differently because of it.
Yeah.
This is the show.
All right. Let me see. I don't think I have my phone next to me. Okay, it's over here. That way I don't have to actually stop the game to look at it.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's see. Sorry, everybody. Pulling up Discord really fast.
I'm kind of emphasizing a point here.
Yeah, and if I'm not adding too much to the conversation, playing games and talking is hard.
He is in the midst of a boss fight right now.
Yes, I have totally seen that.
You've seen that?
I've yet to actually watch a single episode, but I have seen it.
Okay. Well, I won't spoil what like the full deal is, but girls that he confesses to talk behind his back on him.
Mm.
So it's kind of a similar deal with Kanji, where it's, you know, he doesn't know, like the main character of my love story doesn't know the girls talk behind his back, but the fact is that he is ostracized by them. So I can imagine it's a similar case with Kanji.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just the interesting thing about this kind of perception of masculinity.
Oh yeah.
But then again, and then all of us can just. But if we can just accept our differences, then we can all just cheer and then do a full-on reenactment of the Top Guns playing with the boys volleyball scene.
Hey, yeah. Now that's a scene I can get behind.
Or I'm trying to think of another one. Nope, no. Or maybe Virus Buster Surge, but I think that might be too obscure for everybody.
I think that's also a bit too obscure for me, so yes.
Old anime made by... Oh god, what's his name? Oh. He was the guy that also directed the Fatal Fury motion picture. Oh god, what's his name? Damn it, now I'm gonna have to look this up. This is kind of what we do with this Persona series, everybody. We just
I mean,
shoot the shit and share stuff.
I know that our Let's Plays don't get as many views as anything else we do, and I should totally be focusing more on demonstration and such, but yeah, no, this series still means something to me, and it's nice just to have a place where we end up kind of openly, randomly chatting.
Masami Obari, that was his name. I knew his last name started with an O. Masami Obari. He's yeah, he did the TV series. Wait, he worked on Pop Team Epic? Actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. He did Oh yeah, he did the Henty series Angel Blade. He was mostly known for being a mecha designer, though.
Interesting.
But yeah, basically we just have moments of gayness of that capacity, or masculinity of that capacity.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. But yeah, it is nice, though, that these characters will get shared over more platforms.
Oh, definitely. As I said, like,
Some
kanji was literally kind of a crux for me even accepting myself. Like, as a young queer preteen teen, I don't remember if I was like 11 or 13 at the time, honestly, but seeing this, going through all the dialogue, like, a lot of it echoed things I was thinking and feeling, and you know what? I'm just glad to have even this level of representation.
yeah, albeit representation has gotten a lot more mainstream
Oh,
recently.
yeah, yeah, but I don't know, there's still something for this. Like, is it dated? Would it be as accepted if this was what someone came up with today? Maybe not, but I don't know. I still
I'm
appreciate
not
it.
gonna I'm not gonna say part of, part of me feels like it made, like, how do I put this? I am all I am all for representation when it comes to media when it's done in a respectful way, but there are certain shows, there are some shows and some movies and what have you that have this representation, but it clearly did not age well,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like, and I mean, I guess it's still a problem even nowadays in regards to, funny enough, in Persona 5.
Really? I mean, I haven't
Yeah,
played it yet, so.
there is a, okay, I'm not going to spoil the lead up to this, but there's a particular scene that is really distasteful that isn't in the royal version, which is going to be the version the ported to all the consoles. But in the original 5, it was two gay men that did a particular thing that is stereotyped of gay men, and it left a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Hmm.
And they altered the dialogue for that in 5 Royal, but let's face it, the damage is done, and it's not even that much better,
Oh.
frankly. And it's weird to me, and it's also weird to me that you don't even have a gay option in 5. Like, the fact that there's a gay romance option in Persona 2 and there hasn't been a gay option since then is weird. And the fact that they had it lined up for Yosuke in this game is even weirder.
Yeah, like, and I've worked on trying to mod this in. All I can hope with, like, 5 and 3 coming out is they make modding these games easier, because I have run the setup for Artemis, like, 3 times. I cannot make it work. So, Yosuke is OTP for this run. I just can't get the mod to run, because
Right.
I've tried. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but Yosuke, we love you, boy. Mwah.
I have I did remember though hearing about someone playing Persona 4 Golden for the first time and being like, and them posting on Twitter saying like, "Hey, does Yosuke ever stop being a homophobic jerk at any point?"
Yeah, when he goes full homo,
Yeah,
like so
and
many other people in life.
yeah, like I'm not. Again, I don't know much about this kind of stuff because because I'm a hetero person. I don't really have any knowledge about this kind of stuff. But from what my understanding is, from what people have said about him, is that his comments, as I'll put them lightly, are more derived from his own internal version of it repressing himself, right?
Yeah,
Is that
like
about right?
literally, it's a thing, especially in the gay community, where what you're repressing, what you don't want to admit to yourself, you take out on other people.
Okay.
Like, that's the easiest way to put it. Like, I don't like this about myself, so when I see it in other people, I attack it because that's not who I am, and I don't want to see that in my life.
Okay, so so it'd be like the equivalent of me seeing a cocktail at a bar that's fairly like sweet. Say it's something like I don't know, something that's made with like a flavor, like a bunch of flavored spirits, and I'm like, that sounds good, but I don't want to, but I don't think I should have this because it seems like it's not, you know, the manly thing to drink. And then I see another man drink it, and I'm like, how dare you drink that? I wanted to drink that. Why are you happily having the drink?
Yeah, or being like passive aggressive to that dude and being like, oh, what an asshole, just because he's having the fruity drink and you didn't. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not his fault you make bad decisions.
Yeah. It's not his fault that you crash your bike into a trash can.
Exactly.
But in any case, it is good that these games are getting on other platforms. Although some people will, a lot of people said that they would have preferred it if it was the Persona 3 FES version that made it to Switch.
Which I've heard that too, but most of what was in FES, to my understanding, was in the portable port. So
right, I think it was
know.
more for the. I think it was more for the visual fidelity of it, but I could be wrong. But I think the reason they went with the portable version might be because of the gameplay.
Probably. It's nice to actually have control over your party and have all that already done for you when making a port rather than having to make, you know, a remake essentially for each platform from scratch off of FES.
Let me check what the differences were again. Yeah, all party members can be controlled in battle. I remember when I played FES on my PS3 years ago that was like a gripe I had because I don't like not having control of my party. I don't like having no control of my party members because I like to strategize. That's part of the deal with JRPGs. So when strategy is taken away from me, I start to. What's a good comparison?
Oh, yeah,
I'm
we
like,
are not doing that.
I don't know a good comparison, but it just wasn't. It's not. It's not a preferred thing for me.
Fair enough.
I don't care for auto battle stuff. Even when it comes to just grinding, I don't do auto battle because when it comes to games like the SMT series, one slip up means bad shit.
Quite often, yes.
What's his health at?
Probably just now chipping him down.
Oh, so you were busy. Oh, you were busy taking down his enemy friends.
Yeah, because one of those guys I remember heals him. So
right.
I was like, screw that.
It's been a bit since I've played this game and fought him. So
yeah, I just remembered like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and just take those guys out.
Some would say that we cheated when. Some would say that you cheat when you research your enemies. But looking at what we had to deal with there, with healing enemies, yeah. I just remembered there is something that I hope the modding community could be able to do for Persona 5 Royal.
Oh?
It would be to make one of the boss fights actually fair.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about an unfair boss fight.
You remember me talking about that fucking one boss fight in Royal.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
And for people that have watched my streams or have heard me talk about it before, you know what I mean. If there is any mod that could ever fix Royal, it would be one that fixes that fucking fight. Like, that is... Like, that just be... I'm not gonna get into the rant again because it just pissed me off too much, but... Yeah, it's legitimately one of the most unfair boss fights I've ever had to go through in a JRPG. Period. No cap, nothing. Nothing else to me has topped it quite yet. I would say the two gargoyles in Elden Ring and the Underground would be a contender, but I don't really say that as a JRPG. That's more of an action RPG.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what I mean by the two gargoyles, or if you know what I mean by the two gargoyles, then you know what I mean by the two gargoyles. Especially if you try to fight them by yourself. Actually, this is a question that I have for you, Jordan.
Sure.
How do you, when it comes, so, what is your repertoire of the Souls series? Like, which ones have you played or beaten?
Never beaten a single Souls game. Only played Demon Souls and Dark Souls. Never played any of the other ones. Though I have seen a good amount of Bloodborne.
Bloodborne's fun. It's got its issues, but it's a lot of people clamor about their love of Bloodborne to the capacity that when the Spider-Man remaster was the quote state of play's PlayStation beloved classic going to PC, people immediately were I could almost feel the collective furrowing of brows in disappointment. Because, like, everybody clamors for Bloodborne for PC, because that game is locked at 30 FPS. And people are like, we want 60 frame Bloodborne, man, come on! Actually, wait, on PS4 it's not even locked at 30. It's like 30 is the max, and it can fluctuate.
Yeah.
Point is, there's a sort of mentality for certain boss fights in the Souls series that kind of I tend to disagree with, not in any kind of disrespectful means, but just in more of like a this is how I would rather play kind of scenario. It's this idea that you can call your friends if a boss is giving you issue. Or if a boss seems to be legitimately difficult or even near impossible to beat on your own, call a friend to help you.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that mindset, because these games, though having multiplayer elements, are also single-player experiences.
Yeah.
And I believe in the idea that if you have your game predicated on the idea of being able to play it single-player, you should be able to theoretically beat a boss on your own. Even if it takes a lot of attempts, your skill gets better, unless the boss has a lot of overloaded, asinine mechanics that make it difficult to fight on your own. Like, the example I brought up are that there are these two gargoyles that you can fight in this underground segment in Elden Ring.
Okay.
And you go into this fight, you start fighting one of them, and when you get the first one to half health, his buddy shows up. Now, if it's just about managing the two and just closing in on one of them and chipping away at their health and dodging their attacks, then I wouldn't be having this fucking discussion. I wouldn't be having this conversation. I would not.
Yeah.
But the problem is that both of them have this ability to breathe out a poison breath. And poison in Elden Ring's not too bad to deal with, you know, so long as you just make sure you heal when you're at low health, and once the poison bar is built up to its max, you're not really going to get more poison when you're hit with poison again. So that's fine enough.
Yeah.
You know, that's how past Souls games have it. You know, you get poisoned and you just tank the poison and you don't have any other damage besides the poison buildup. But for some fucking reason, and this is the bit that pisses me off, that pissed me off every time I went into that fight, the poison breath does chip damage on you.
Oof.
On top of building a poison meter. And this breath can stretch across really far in the battlefield. So I've been told, apparently, that you have to... that fight gets way easier with people, and I don't agree with that mindset.
Yeah, like, you shouldn't have to call in reinforcements for a single-player game. Or a game that was designed around being primarily single-player. Because...
Not even primarily single-player, just like the fact that like if you're able to beat them on if you're able to beat a lot of bosses on your own, then surely you should be able to at least design a lot of the non a lot of the like what's the best way to put this? If you're able to if a lot of the bosses that you put up that are story important and everything can be beaten by yourself, then surely a lot of the bosses that aren't major repeats within the mini dungeons or anything, like the gargoyles, as I said, or some of the others that are in the underground, then surely those should be reworked to be beaten single player. Also, good job.
Yeah.
But I equate it to like this. It's like in Mega Man and Base, where literally all of the other robot masters in that game are fucking impossible to beat with your standard weapons save for one. When Mega Man's whole deal was that you could tackle all the bosses in any order you pleased.
Exactly.
It's like that, except with an Elden Ring single player shit. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of like I like the fact of the multiplayer being an extra thing you can do. You know, you can fuck around with your friends and figure out some bosses on if they're giving you trouble, but you could theoretically beat them if you just played enough and were able to figure out the patterns. But if a boss's overloading of mechanics legitimately makes it almost impossible to beat on your own, then that's bad design.
It is. It is bad design.
We accept you, Kanji.
We do.
If you had a does Kanji have a Nendoroid?
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Yeah, same. I mean, please look it up, but yeah. Yosuke, stop hiding it. We know you do.
A lot of you Narukami, that's fine.
Make it sound like you've got it all figured out. Come on, get up. Anyone who looks like me, I know they ain't so weak that they can't take a punch. I already know that you're me. You're me.
Well, I see a Teddy, an Nendoroid of Teddy.
I mean, I do like Teddy. Teddy is probably my second favorite boss design in this game. Like, I love that giant bear falling apart. Though I've always been weirded out by this Persona design.
Let's get him out of here.
Okay, so it seems like there is a miniature gotcha figure, but looks like there's no Nendoroid.
Oh, that's sad.
That is sad. I mean, it's the figure, the mini figure is probably one of those like phone charm figures you see at cons that are like probably
I feel great.
increased highly in price because cons just inflate their prices a whole bunch. Speaking of Nendoroids and figures and shit, did you like that Zagreus thing I shared with you?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. And what's even better, I also learned that Good Smile's making a Mob Psycho 100 figure. Like Nendoroids and full figures of Reagan and Mob. Which, oh, does my heart good. Mob Psycho 100's awesome.
Never seen it, but I've heard it's good.
It's so good. It's like one of my favorite shows ever. Probably easily within my top 5. it's for one thing, its animation is fucking phenomenal. Any person that knows animated series well enough can tell you, like, oh yeah, Mob Psycho's really good.
Hmm.
But the writing in the show is so top notch for like, it's a shonen series that doesn't praise the protagonist for his overpowerment over the rest of the series, over the whole series. Like, you know how people, you know, like go jaw dropping, oh my god, whatever cool superpower comes out that's busted as shit. People like that does happen sometimes in Mob, but it's not something that the series revolves around. Like, it doesn't, it's so, watch Mob Psycho, for the love of God. Season 3 is coming out in October. It's
All
so
right.
good.
I got a lot to catch up on. I just started Umbrella Academy.
How long did that end up taking you, the fight?
I mean, we got pretty much straight to it. So let's see, we're at 41 minutes. We'll say it was probably a 30-minute fight.
Really? That didn't feel like 30 minutes.
I mean, we'll see. But yeah, let's get out of here, make sure everything goes through. But as you see, we were getting to the end of the rain, so it was like, it's time. Right. It's time. I don't have any more bugs, or I'd show you how to go fishing.
Yeah, Jordan explained to me how to get the fishing hook for the fishing stuff in Persona 4.
Yeah, and so we can use it as a tag. I'm going to tell all of you how to do it.
Yeah.
There is 2 ways to get the fishing hook to get the fishing rod. They both require you going to the shrine. The first one is the way you should do it, which is to go at night with a red goldfish, give it to a woman haunting the shrine. She'll give you a net so that in the morning you can go and talk to the kids. When you talk to the kids, they'll send you to catch bugs. You catch the bugs. You go back to the shopping district at night now, go into the old woman's bar, you know, the one that's usually a shop during the day. She turns it into a bar at night. That's where you go. You talk to her, and she'll tell you about her child, which is a fish, having issues and not eating anything she makes for it. It sees the bug. You give the fish the bug. It was acting funny because it had a hook in its mouth. She gives you the hook from the fish's mouth and essentially makes a deal with you to where you can get breadcrumbs from her anytime you bring her bugs. So then you go take the hook to the old man at the river basin, and he will give you the rod and teach you to fish. That's how you do it. Or the alternative way is skip the part about learning to catch bugs. You can just give the kid a can of Orange Crush soda because he's thirsty for one, and he'll give you the bug.
Not sponsored by Orange Crush.
I mean, it's not called Orange Crush, but it's essentially Orange Crush. So
yeah, that's some adventure game logic that right there. Like, that's some Return of Monkey Island shit. Speaking of, do you know about the Return of Monkey Island? Did you see that announcement?
I didn't know there was an announcement about it. I mean,
it was in the same direct that the Persona ports were announced.
Yes, I haven't watched any of that.
There's a new Monkey Island game that's happening.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
So there you go. That's a cool thing that's going on. That mini direct, it had some interesting stuff to it. Easily the highlights, from what I remember, were the Persona ones. God damn it, I can't remember fully now. Don't you hate when you're trying to be on the spot about remembering stuff? Okay, so it was the Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, I had to. I am very curious about getting Monster Hunter Rise because I really liked World. I was fucking addicted to World when it came out initially in 2018.
Okay.
But but because I owned it on PS4, some monsters, as I said, got a little too hard for me on single player, and no one I knew, no one, not even you, Jordan, were interested in Monster Hunter or playing it with me.
Nope.
So I was just like, all right, I think I'm done with Monster Hunter World. But Monster Hunter Rise now being on PC means that at the very least the online's free, so I can play with randos online.
This is true.
So that's something. So Sunbreak, that expansion is coming out, or I think it's out now, actually. Yeah, it's out now, June 30th. It's July 1st at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
Then there's the new port of Nier Automata for the Switch, which really, I understand that Nier Automata isn't as much of a technical powerhouse as some of Nintendo's or some of Square Enix's other games, but I was not expecting that. Nier Automata for the Switch.
Yeah.
Now Nintendo fans can also see the glorious 2-butt.
Yep. To be.
And then there's Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. I literally don't know what this game is. Apparently it's a mystery game. Bomberman sequel, that's right. There's going to be another Bomberman game for the Switch next year. I don't know much about Bomberman. Literally never played it once in my life, but...
Oh, I love Bomberman. It's great.
Apparently people really like Super Bomberman R, so now there's a second one.
Sweet.
And I just remember, and now I see this next announcement, the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. These Legacy Collections of the Mega Man series have been really cool, I have to say. And the fact that it's going to be all 10 of the games next year on Switch. So now the games aren't trapped on Game Boy Advanced anymore.
Yeah.
And I know and funny enough, actually, I never played a Mega Man Battle Network game. I was more into the show, the anime show.
You know, I never played Battle Network either. That's why I'm really excited for the collection.
Yeah. It's good that Capcom have been doing really well about these Mega Man collections.
So, yeah.
Now, if only they could do that for Breath of Fire, that would be really cool. Just saying.
Yeah.
ASMR JRPG fan really wants Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire.
There's the Pac-Man World remake, which is
Wait, they're remaking Pac-Man World?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm in.
Apparently coming out August 26th this year. There's a monochrome indie game called Blanc, where you play as a wolf and a fawn, a wolf cub and a fawn, trying to navigate a harsh winter. Return to Monkey Island, that's I've already saw that. The new Mario's plus Rabbids game, which I mean, good on Ubisoft. You remember when that was first announced, the Mario Rabbids collab game?
Yeah.
That was a weird one, but apparently
It
people
worked.
liked it enough.
Yeah.
It worked. And I mean, I remember when the game was shown off at E3 once, and Miyamoto was on stage with some head executive of Ubisoft, and Miyamoto said that the director of the game did a really good job on it. You know, did justice to Mario and making the game really well and everything. And the guy that was directing the game was starting to cry in his seat because he was getting complimented by Miyamoto.
I mean, I would too, dude.
I mean, yeah,
like full stop.
You're getting complimented by the guy that made Mario and all these other famous franchises that essentially brought gaming back, and
Yeah.
he's complimenting you on how well you represented their characters. Yeah, like that would choke me up too. Then there's what the fuck is Little No? Oh, that seems to be a roguelike, I think. A roguelike called Little Noah. Then there's a railroad management a railroad economy management thing called Railgrade.
Hmm.
This RPG that's apparently like done entirely in like a storybook segment. I don't really know how to describe it. And then the Sonic Frontiers showcase that they had.
Mhm.
What did you think of that, Mr. Sonic fan of the
Honestly,
channel?
haven't seen too much about it. I've seen the little girl character that's supposed to be the villain, and that's about it. As I said, I've looked at nothing from that showcase yet. I have
Okay.
had COVID, and I have been sleeping.
Yeah, poor Jordan sadly caught the Rona.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Live Alive. That's another one. Do you know what Live Alive is, Jordan?
Gesundheit.
So, Live Alive is a JRPG that was from the SNES era that was Japan exclusive for the longest time. No one knew about it save for like some fans of Square Enix who were dedicated enough to wanting to play it. And it's getting the HD 2D treatment like the upcoming Dragon Quest III remake, Octopath Traveler, and Triangle Strategy. It's by those people. And the best thing is, and I'm so pleased that Square Enix has been doing this with all their demos. They released a demo. I don't know how long the demo is. Or it's the first 3 chapters, and you can carry the save progress to the final game. I am so happy that they keep doing this with their demos. It's such a good idea. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get to you play 3 of the chapters, and you get to carry your progress. So I'm looking forward to trying that one out. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
Then there's a Doraemon farming sim.
Doraemon? Okay.
Minecraft Legends, Dragon Quest Treasures. Now, I was hoping for some kind of Dragon Quest announcement for the Switch. And being honest, I was hoping it would be the HD 2D remake for Dragon Quest 3.
Hmm.
But sadly, that was not the case. It's the spin-off game called Dragon Quest Treasures, where it's essentially you just go around finding treasure with playing as a pair of siblings who appear in Dragon Quest 11, which, you know, that's fine. I'm fine with that, but man, I would have liked at least something about the 3 remake, because literally we've heard nothing but that one announcement during the 35th anniversary.
Yeah.
Then the Portal Companion Collection of Portals 1 and 2 being ported to Switch.
Well, Amanda will be excited about that one.
Then there's this game called Harvestella, which is also a farming simulator that's also got action RPG elements. And apparently it's kind of more about staving off a season of death, as it were, in the story that's like meant to be destroying crops and destroying livelihoods and essentially just ruining people's lives. So I don't know what the game's about other than that, but it sounds interesting. Apparently people who were disappointed in Rune Factory 5 might find this one a bit better. And then, of course, the Personas 3, 4, and 5 ports. Those were the last major announcements.
I don't really get it myself.
So, that's the cliff notes of the announcements.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of announcements. Also, Kanji is a sweet little cinnamon roll. I love this dude.
Girls are so loud and obnoxious, so you know, I really don't like dealing with them. Guys are a lot more laid back. So I started thinking, type who never gets interested in girls. And I couldn't accept that, so I kept spinning around and around in my head.
Well, I can understand
Yeah.
about feeling more relaxed around dudes.
Yeah, how are you feeling, man?
I'm fine now. I mean, it was all in my head when you get down to it. I was the one shutting out that stuff. So, our family's run a textile shop for generations. Oh yeah, you already knew that. My parents are kind of weird. They say stuff like, "Dyes are one with the universe. Cloth is alive." That's the kind of house.
Yeah, that's when you know, like,
I've been interested in sewing
they get a
and
little
stuff
too...
since I was
You ever have that moment where they're too into their job?
Yeah.
Like the person that's... It'd be like the equivalent of a pizza place, or... It'd be like the equivalent of a franchise-owned Domino's being like, we can feel the soul of the dough as we knead our knuckles into it. And I'm like, dude, you're making a fucking pepperoni pizza for a dude who's probably too stoned out of his mind to recognize what day it is. I'm confident they don't care about the soul of the dough.
Sadly, yeah.
Guess I never had anyone. Guess I wasn't really afraid of girls.
But yeah, it's like, I like, someone getting into their work, that's, you know, that's fine. You enjoy what you like, but when you get weird about it, it's like,
It's just weird.
yeah, or like super fanatical, like the guy that bought $40,000 worth of stock in Nintendo to try and ask questions about why certain franchises aren't getting represented.
I mean,
Yes, people, that actually recently happened.
and I'm glad he did.
Yeah, so it's about time a fan actually, you know, got up to the execs and asked the important questions of like, where's F-Zero? Why aren't you making more sequels about these classic series? What's going on? Why aren't, like, fans clearly want this?
Yeah, it
but why aren't you
keeps
doing
coming
anything?
up.
Now that you mention
I now own enough of this company to ask. And it also let us know there's a stock split coming, so I will be buying some Nintendo stock.
Well, with all the games coming out this year,
Oh yeah.
well, my mom had called the cops.
I'm
I
excited
remember
for
in-
the next Metroid Prime re-release.
if that happens.
No, they've confirmed that it's coming to the Switch. They're going to do the Metroid Prime trilogy. And then Metroid Prime 4 probably in another 2 years.
What?
Yeah.
I told him exactly what I just told you.
I was assuming it was just rumors.
No, I think they've confirmed that they're planning to put out the trilogy and then put out Metroid Prime 4.
I may need to look that up later, because I'm confident Hank would have told me.
Anything I
Our buddy Hank's a huge Metroid fan. Like, Metroid Prime's like his favorite game of all time.
Well, who knows? Maybe I fell for rumors, but I thought it was confirmed.
No, I fell for rumors sometimes too. I get it.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, it just makes sense to me. Add the motion controls and all that. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it'd be
but
great.
except you're forgetting one thing. There are a lot of easy enough sounding ports that could be made to Switch, but aren't done yet.
This is true, but if I can run it on Dolphin, I can run it on a Switch. I know it.
Yes, but does Nintendo care enough to actually do that though?
That
That's
is fair.
Because that's the thing, is that there are a lot of games that I could want to be put on Switch from the GameCube and Wii era.
Yeah.
Some of which have popular characters that are represented in other games to a high degree. You know I'm a Fire Emblem fan. You know what I'm getting at. Why the fuck isn't Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn available on Switch?
Fair enough.
What is he beating them to death?
Like,
I mean,
with
honestly,
Ike's
it's sad that the entire eShop hasn't been brought over to the Switch yet, because there are some
Well-
good games and even originals for the eShop now that are just lost to time without hacking your Wii and putting the ROMs on it.
Well, I'd say that's more of a virtual console thing rather than a eShop problem. Like the eShop's, the eShop's the eShop.
Fair,
They
but
aren't they aren't going to be able to carry over all games from, say, the Wii U section or the 3DS section over because those were built for those consoles.
Yes and
What
no,
I'm
because the console was simply running an emulator and you bought access to the ROM, and there was just a layout that allowed it to work with the console. So you could actually do that on the Switch probably today with very little editing, to keep it lightly. Um, the reason I'm ticked about though is like you bring up Fire Emblem. Well, they had almost all the original Fire Emblem GBA games available
yeah,
through eShop. So it's like if you want these series to, continue growing their fan bases or give people legal access to these games, since you hate ROMs so much.
I don't hate ROMs. I just think that
No,
they,
I'm
I
saying
just don't-
Nintendo hates ROMs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like, since they hate ROMs so much, it would make sense that, hey, this thing you have where people give you money to get the ROM, you might want to keep doing that.
Yeah. Bring the virtual console back instead of doing your stupid ass online system thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, Nintendo wants to get into the paid online service thing because that's what PlayStation and Xbox do. Okay. Attach your retro stuff to it, that's where the issue starts.
Yeah.
Because you're essentially holding those games hostage behind a subscription service where, unless they keep the service up, they're not going to be able to keep playing the games they want to play. Say, games like Earthbound, Kirby Superstar. You get my idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the fucking audacity to add Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64 games on and tack on an extra price tag for that when the ports for those aren't even good.
Yeah, they're broken, is what they are. So,
Like,
no, that's
how
why
fucked
literally
me.
I've had to tell, like, Michael, Amanda's little bro.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh man, I'm so excited. Like, I'm asking my parents for some extra money for my birthday so I can get the new Switch expansion. I can play these N64 games for the first time. And I'm like, kid, let me save you some heartache and put a freaking emulator on your laptop right now. Which games do you want to play? And let me get you some that aren't even on there. Because
Yeah.
I could get these games running on your PC better than they will on the Switch in an hour for no money at all.
versus say having to pay $60 a year for that kind of, for like inferior ports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it ain't worth it, kid.
And then there's the matter of what's the best way to word this? It's essentially just Nintendo's prospect of like, we will hold these games into a subscription service and our fans will pay for it anyway because they want these games, which is awful. Like, I think it's the dumbest business practice ever. Because the virtual console, though had its own issue, though the virtual console and eShop, though having their own issues, at the very least, when you bought a game, you fucking kept it. You kept your game you bought. So when you're not able to keep the game that you want to play, like, it's not even a Blockbuster situation of like, no, you have rental but option to buy for higher price. It's literally just rental or no dice. Ugh. It's just aggravating as shit is what it is. Nintendo's like the most aggravating company to ever, follow in any capacity or even buy games from, because they make good stuff, they publish good stuff. They're just so ass backwards with their mindset about retro stuff or even getting their old stuff onto new hardware. Anyway, Kanji's now part of the group.
Yep.
Sorry, I get really heated about this because it's like it feels very transparent in how exploitive this is.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely hate this business practice that's becoming all too common. But the thing is, at least when other companies are doing similar practices, like Xbox Game Pass, they give you a good freaking deal and don't break their games in the program.
Yeah. Yeah. But obviously not. This kind of change to Nintendo isn't going to happen unless someone completely rocks the system or tells the execs to their face that this is not this business model is not a good idea. Like, it's making them money,
Yeah,
but it's
and at least they feel like they'll get more money out of everyone paying into this pot than if they offered individual sales to people, but at a certain point, it's just exploitation.
not to mention that those individual sales could also add up tremendously, but
Hmm. Yeah, you could probably lower your subscription rate, still offer everything you are now to the quality you are now because it is less than your competitors.
because let's face it, it's not like people sign up for Nintendo Online for the quality of their actual online
Oh God,
services.
no.
No.
So, and then we can go ahead and offer those individual sales, and people won't feel like they're getting gypped.
Yes. And in all fairness, there was a scent of in the air of gyppedness when it came to former eShop stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Particularly when it came to wanting to re-download a game you bought from the eShop when you've switched consoles. So, say for instance, you buy Super Metroid on the Wii. You get it on the Virtual Console on the Wii, and you play it on that, and you're like, oh, I'm having fun. Now, obviously, the Wii is an old console. Consoles don't last forever.
Nope.
You know, old consoles can break down, and America's not that good about preservation of retro consoles.
And even when you got a guy like me who tries to do it one on one, or people give me their old consoles to repair, that's not to say if you had a hard drive failure or something, I can actually save all the data on it.
Point is, it's not that common
Hmm.
to get your consoles to be easily fixed, or to just buy a new one, or to just buy like a damn near factory new refurbished one, like it happens in Japan. Like you've heard in Japan, right? How there's retro consoles available in department stores and everything that look factory new.
Yep.
But that's not a thing in America. You
Nope.
know, like, you're lucky to probably go into a retro game store that'll fix it up for you, or to find a friend that'll do it. But as I was saying, consoles eventually break down, and you're like, okay, well, my Wii will die eventually. I have this Wii U now. I'll download a game. I'll re-download Super Metroid and play through there. I probably won't be able to save the save file or what have you if I don't have the SD card, but that's fine, so long as it keeps the record of the fact that I purchased the game.
Yeah.
Except that they don't. They didn't keep the record of the purchase, despite you likely having a receipt in your email.
Hmm.
And that's where the problem laid in the eShop. However, doing the subscription service is worse than that. It's like cutting off your whole foot when you stubbed your toe on the coffee table. It's like, that's not curbing the pain, buddy. That's not exactly... Ugh. Or no, it's like cutting off your whole foot when one of your toes is an ingrown toenail. Would you say that works as an analogy?
Sorry, I was paying attention to the chat. What?
I was saying essentially that the eShop's dumbass policy could have been fixed, but this new
Oh yeah,
workaround
no, the
that they
eShop could have been fixed because everyone else essentially fixed it already.
Yes,
Like,
but
Games
but what
I
was saying,
bought on my 360 when I was in high school, I can still play on an Xbox One or Xbox Series X. Like, I literally log in to my Microsoft account. Those games are there. If they're available on Windows right now, I log into my Microsoft account, and games I bought back in 2009, 2011, 2013, doesn't matter, are available for me to download and play today.
Yeah, and then there's the, but then as I was saying, it's like, you know, this online Switch solution does not fix the problem. All it does is cut your foot off to spite the ingrown toenail you have.
Yep.
That's essentially it. Anyway, Kanji's getting his glasses.
Yeah.
Sorry for the rant, people. This is not our first time ranting on Nintendo. But it probably won't be our last, but it's
By the way, I've been wondering.
ugh. It's just, as I said, Nintendo's the most frustrating company to ever, one of the most frustrating companies to follow.
Yeah.
Like, they aren't blatantly awful like EA is, but they have the,
Oh yeah, here's
they are kind of like the lawful evil of video game companies.
Yeah.
These are the glasses you guys told me about. Sure, but
Yeah. I love the noses.
If I had a capacity right now to do a Groucho Marx impersonation, I'd do it.
I had a normal pair ready for you, but Yuki-chan insisted on this one. She wouldn't budge. Yeah, real funny, you smartass. Why are you taking it out on me? Give me that. My spare pair. Hanji, you must really like those. This is the real one. It wasn't easy getting it to you. Why the hell did you bother making a spare if it's more useless crap?
I mean, literally, I know it's RGB more or less on the side, but he's got like a rainbow design on his glasses.
Yeah. Isn't that the thing for all their glasses, though?
No, actually. All of them have solid glasses, and they're each a different color.
No.
Wait. Oh, you're right. They do.
No, they're all, yeah. They all got
Okay.
like the TV coloration motif on their
I've
glasses.
never noticed that, actually. I
Yeah,
thought
it's
that was a
very-
kanji only thing.
Nope.
Huh. I've never seen that until just now.
The details.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Oh.
I think that's where we're ending tonight. I'm going to pick some vegetables.
Yeah, I have drained every last resource of my anime protagonist powers ranting about Nintendo.
Fair enough, my guy. Fair enough.
The power of the power of friendship and gamer pettiness.
Yep. All right.
That should be a shonen power up. Is like, by the power of my gamer pettiness and the support of my booba mouse pad, I will rant about my game company of choice.
Xbox Kid strikes again. All right. See y'all later. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Open Couch Gaming for more video game antics.